Alrighty, welcome into another episode of Getting Technical, brought to you by Better and Green. I am Ethan. With me, as always, is Wyatt. Wyatt, we're just doing a standalone game today. Number 12 Texas at number 8 Marquette. So a nice ranked matchup here. Really, the only pretty solid matchup of the day. So we'll get into that before we get into it. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Decent yesterday in college basketball. I went 3-1 on my straight plays, and then of course I had to parlay Michigan and Michigan State on the money line. They both ended up losing on the money line, so made me look pretty stupid with that money line parlay. But 3-1 again. I am a huge fan of parlays, so I'm not going to say I'm not, but they're stupid, and that just showed how it was stupid. But if I left the parlay out, 3-1, it was still profitable at 3-2, but 3-1 just sounds a whole lot better than 3-2. But yeah, both our teams struggled. Michigan looks freaking terrible. Michigan State has I have their worries about them as well. But you were at the game, so did you get into the zone?
Did not get into the zone. Up in the nosebleeds again, but it was kind of cool. My old roommate was like 3 rows behind me.
Nice.
We had no idea that we were going to each be there. And then another family member was like a couple sections over, and my old roommate that I just lived with in July was across the stadium. I could see him from where we were sitting. So it was kind of cool that we were all there, but no zone for me.
Do they serve booze at the game?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I have not bought any, and I haven't seen any. So yeah, I think
it's legal, but I think it's up to the school. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I know Michigan State allows at football games, I think, was just this year.
Right.
Michigan doesn't allow it at either, I believe.
I haven't heard much about college basketball. I know with football, like you mentioned, it's kind of becoming a thing, but I wish they did. went to B-dubs beforehand, got a beer, some wings. So yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, you've kind of been rolling in college basketball over the last few days, week or two, maybe. I have not. I'm very up and down. I'm down like 2.5 units, so nothing crazy, but my record when I'm in attendance, 1-7, so not great when I unload the clip on Michigan State basketball. Just hasn't worked out for me so far this year. But we'll see. Izzo will get them right.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Michigan. I'm not worried about State.
Yeah. Well, two teams we shouldn't be worried about whatsoever, Texas and Marquette, two really good teams. Texas 6-1, Marquette 6-2. Marquette off the loss to Wisconsin here. And I'm seeing Marquette as an 8.5-point home favorite, over under set around 151. So pretty high total. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, like last show, I actually already have my bet placed on this game. But yeah, Marquette, you just had 2 losses on the year, both to Big Ten teams, and they actually beat another Big Ten team, Illinois, I believe 71-64. So they struggled a little bit against the Big Ten. Again, Big Ten is a weird division or weird conference in basketball. There's a lot of defense, similar to football, but a lot of defense. So they've actually struggled against Big Ten. And then Texas with an 81-71 loss to UConn, who's also in the same conference as the Marquette, the Big East, which just loves offense, not a whole lot of defense in this. So I think Marquette struggles against the defensive teams. Texas is not bad defensively. So I'm actually going to lean Texas on the +8.5. I believe, +8.5 is what I'm seeing on DraftKings. Over-under is 151. No play in that game for me, or no play on the total. I would lean the over. But I do have a play that I have bet, the one bet I have placed, and that is Texas's team total, which I got locked in at over 71.5. There is a boost on DraftKings for this game, a 50% boost, just a $25 max. But I have used that boost to get it up to +136 for Texas's team total, over 71.5. Reason for this: Texas, really high scoring team. I think they're right around 86 points a game. Marquette, same, pretty high scoring as well, but their defense is a little worse than Texas. I think they're averaging like 69 points allowed per game. But we also saw them, against Purdue, allowing 78 points, which isn't crazy because Purdue's, scoring in the 80s usually every game. But then they allowed 75 points to Wisconsin, which I think is pretty alarming because, again, Wisconsin's not a great offensive team. They're just very efficient, slow pace, a lot of, just offensive sets. So allowing 75 points to Wisconsin was a little alarming. And I just think Texas is going to go in there 81-71 game against UConn. It was a battle. It was a high scoring game. I think we're going to get that almost identical. So I think Texas might win this game. They are at Marquette, so it's a tough place to play. But I do think Texas is going to score over 72 points in this game, and that is the bet I have locked in.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. We're seeing eye to eye in this game, so I'm happy about that because, like I said, you're kind of rolling in college basketball. Your picks on the show were better than mine yesterday, and I'm kind of up and down. So I'm happy to be on the same side as you. I like Texas plus the 8.5. Um, I'm shocked the line is this high, which we've talked about before. You and I would typically line up on Marquette when the line is fishy, but Michigan's line was fishy. They lost outright yesterday. Michigan State's line was fishy. They lost outright yesterday. So I'm just I'm kind of pumping the brakes a little bit on that, waiting until I think mid-January is when that really starts to take off, when it's conference opponents at like road conference favorites, things like that. So yeah, I mean to me these teams are pretty equal. I think Texas ultimately probably makes a deeper run in March than Marquette does. I actually have Texas to win the championship. I have a future on them. But yeah, with Max Abmas at the helm for them, I think that was probably the missing piece that really makes this team a contender this year. Um, you mentioned the losses for both teams. I have to imagine Marquette is favored by this much because they actually do have some decent wins, like you mentioned against Illinois. They beat Kansas, they beat UCLA. Texas doesn't have a single decent win, and they do have that loss to UConn. Um, so that has to be, in my opinion, why the line is where it is. Um, but I just think it's too many points. I think these teams, like I said, are pretty equal here. No look ahead spot for Texas. They have Houston Christian on deck. So a game they should be able to breeze past with a win. Um, yeah, I just think it's too many points here. So I'm going to take Texas plus the 8.5 as my favorite play in this game. No feel on the total, but obviously I like Texas. So I have no disagreement with Texas over that 71.5 points.
Yeah, I think both teams will get into the 70s tonight. So, but if I think you can probably agree, if we're on Texas on the spread, it's probably going to be a lower scoring game, which would be my thought process. If you're going to take Marquette, I think it would be a higher scoring game. At least that's how my brain's working. But since I'm betting on the team total, I'm obviously going to be rooting for points, which means I'll be probably rooting for the over, but will not be placing the over. But yeah, glad we're on the same side here. I don't love Marquette, and I know Marquette beat Kansas. It was a bad spot for Kansas. They beat UCLA, who's obviously down this year. I don't think UCLA is the same as they were last year or the year before. And I just think Texas is the better team. Yes, they lost to UConn, but I mean UConn is legit. They just smoked who they play last night.
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina smoked North Carolina. Totally predicted that one right. They won by double digits in that game. So a fine loss against UConn. It was 10 points, whatever. But yeah, I think Texas wins outright. But yeah, favorite play for me is team total.
Yeah, I think Texas is the more physical team, and I think that's going to cause issues for Marquette. I think Marquette lives and dies with their finesse. Um, it's kind of a scary team to back. So, yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page here. Was there any other plays that you had locked in tonight that you wanted to give out, or?
I have some NBA and one NHL, but nothing in the college basketball world. It's just not a great slate tonight, to
No.
be completely honest. And that's what you get during midweek college basketball. Usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are the big games. So this being Wednesday night, not a huge slate. So nothing I'm on. I might dabble with a Twitter guy I follow, seeing what plays he posts. But yeah, that's all I have as of now.
Yeah. Yeah, I also don't have anything locked in for tonight. I haven't even locked in Texas. That is my favorite play that I'm looking at so far. I'll tweet it out if I lock it in. So be sure to follow us on Twitter. If you're interested in Wyatt's NBA, NHL play tonight, he'll probably tweet those out as well. So follow him. And then, guys, we are filming our NFL show tonight. That will be coming out tomorrow. We've all been rolling in the NFL. I know I'm off my best weekend ever betting the NFL. Why I know you're rolling really in all sports, but NFL included there. And then he started off pretty shaky in the NFL, and he's worked his way back up to a positive record. So he's really been killing it, probably more than us in the last 5 weeks or so. So be sure to check out our NFL show. Again, that does come out tomorrow. We will have a college football show coming out just to preview the one game on Saturday. Yeah, guys, head over to bettergreen.com. We do have premium articles coming out there with all our premium plays that you can only get by becoming a premium subscriber. It's only $1 a month. So you really can't get any cheaper than that. So consider being a premium member. And guys, we'll see you in the next episode.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.